The United States awoke on November 5, 2024, with a palpable sense of anticipation and unease. It was Election Day, the culmination of a bitterly contested presidential race between incumbent Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Kamala Harris. The campaign had been long, divisive, and often ugly, leaving the country deeply polarized. As Americans headed to the polls, the weight of the moment was undeniable. This election felt different, a watershed moment in American history. Social media buzzed with predictions, anxieties, and last-minute pleas to vote. Pundits on cable news offered their final takes, but in truth, no one could confidently predict the outcome. The polls had tightened in the final weeks, and the race appeared to hinge on a handful of key battleground states. The world watched, holding its breath, as the future of American democracy hung in the balance. Early on Election Day, President Trump, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump, cast his vote in Palm Beach, Florida. The couple arrived at the polling station amidst a flurry of media attention, with cameras capturing every moment of their entrance and exit. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as the president, a central figure in this highly contentious election, made his way to the voting booth. Emerging from the polling station, Trump addressed a throng of reporters, repeating familiar claims about the potential for a rigged election. He spoke with a tone of urgency, emphasizing his concerns about the integrity of the voting process. The president's remarks were a continuation of his long-standing narrative, one that has been a significant part of his campaign rhetoric.
I'm confident we'll win, but I have to tell you, there's a lot of fraud out there. We've seen it in various places, and it's something we need to address. The system is not as secure as it should be, and that's a big problem. It's a rigged system, folks, and we need to be vigilant. We can't let them take this election away from us. We have to be on the lookout for any irregularities and make sure every vote is counted fairly.
He expressed confidence in his chances of victory but warned of widespread voter fraud, despite a lack of evidence to support these allegations. His statements were met with mixed reactions, with some supporters echoing his concerns while others dismissed them as unfounded. His words did little to calm the nerves of a nation already on edge. The tension was palpable as people across the country anxiously awaited the election results. The president's comments only added to the uncertainty, leaving many to wonder what the outcome would be and how it would be received. Instead, they seemed to further inflame tensions and sow seeds of doubt about the legitimacy of the electoral process. The nation appeared more divided than ever, with heated debates and protests erupting in various cities. The specter of a contested election loomed large, raising concerns about potential unrest. Trump's rhetoric, a hallmark of his political career, continued to cast a shadow over the election, raising concerns about a potential constitutional crisis if he refused to accept the results. His unwavering stance and the fervent support of his base suggested that the post-election period could be tumultuous, with significant implications for the future of American democracy. Across the country in Washington, D.C., Democratic nominee Kamala Harris took a decidedly different approach. Harris, a graduate of Howard University, chose her alma mater as the backdrop for her final Election Day rally. The atmosphere was electric, a stark contrast to the tension surrounding Trump's appearance.
Today, we stand at a crossroads. This election is about hope, unity, and believing in the promise of America. To every young person, every person of color, and everyone who feels unheard, your voice matters. Make it heard at the ballot box. Your vote is your voice, and it is powerful.
Harris delivered a message of hope, unity, and a belief in the promise of America. She emphasized the importance of coming together as a nation, and spoke directly to young people, people of color, and all those who felt marginalized and unheard. She highlighted the struggles and aspirations of these communities, urging them to make their voices heard at the ballot box, emphasizing the power of their vote to shape the future of the nation. She reminded everyone that their participation in the democratic process is crucial, and that their voices can bring about change. Her words resonated with many, offering a vision of an America that felt more inclusive and just. Harris's speech was not just a call to action, but a reminder of the power of unity and collective effort. She left the stage with a sense of optimism, knowing that her message had touched the hearts of many. As the crowd dispersed, there was a palpable sense of hope and determination in the air, a belief that together they could make a difference. The rally at Howard University was more than just a political event. It was a celebration of the enduring spirit of democracy and the power of the people. In a testament to the power of celebrity in American politics, music icon Beyoncé made a surprise appearance at Harris's rally. The crowd erupted as Beyoncé took the stage, delivering a rousing performance that electrified the audience.
Vote for Kamala Harris, a leader who will fight for all of us.
Beyoncé's endorsement was a major coup for the Harris campaign, mobilizing young voters and highlighting the enthusiasm surrounding her candidacy. However, it also drew the ire of President Trump, who took to his preferred platform, X, formerly Twitter, to criticize Beyoncé's appearance and question her political knowledge.
Beyoncé should stick to music. She doesn't know anything about politics.
Trump's attack, while predictable, seemed to backfire, reinforcing the perception that he was out of touch with the electorate. Section 5 Wall Street on watch markets brace for post-election volatility. As election day unfolded, the eyes of the world were not only on the polls, but also on Wall Street. The financial markets, often seen as a barometer of national confidence, reflected the uncertainty and anxiety gripping the nation. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, a key indicator of stock market performance, fluctuated throughout the day, unable to find a clear direction. Investors, uncertain of the election's outcome and its potential impact on the economy, adopted a wait-and-see approach. Analysts predicted increased volatility in the days and weeks following the election, with the potential for significant market swings depending on the winner and the policies they were likely to pursue. The global economy braced for impact, uncertain of what a Trump or Harris presidency would mean for international trade, foreign policy, and the future of American leadership. Section 6. Voices from the voting booth. Americans speak out on the issues that matter most. Across the country, from bustling cities to rural towns, Americans of all walks of life gathered at polling stations to make their voices heard. They lined up sometimes for hours to cast their ballots. For many, it was not just about choosing a president or a local representative, but about making their voices heard on a range of critical issues that affect their daily lives. The economy, healthcare, climate change, racial justice, and the future of American democracy were all top of mind for voters. These issues have been at the forefront of national conversations, and voters were eager to weigh in on them. The future of American democracy in particular was a significant concern, with many feeling that the stakes had never been higher.
Some voters expressed deep frustration with the state of the country, citing concerns about the rising cost of living, access to affordable healthcare, and the growing partisan divide. Others spoke of their hopes for the future, expressing a desire for change, unity, and a government that truly represented the needs of the people. They wanted to see a country where everyone had a fair shot and where the government worked for the common good. The 2024 election had become a referendum on the direction of the country, and voters were determined to have their say. They debated passionately at campaign events, engaged in discussions about the future, and cast their ballots with a sense of purpose and determination. The energy at the polling stations was palpable, as people showed their voter IDs and cast their votes, hoping to shape the future of their nation.
Section 7. Protecting the vote, combating disinformation, and ensuring election integrity. As the hours ticked by, concerns about election interference and disinformation loomed large. The 2024 election was taking place in a digital landscape rife with misinformation and efforts to undermine public trust in the electoral process. Social media platforms, often used to spread false or misleading information, became battlegrounds in the fight to protect the integrity of the vote.
Election officials across the country work tirelessly to combat disinformation campaigns and ensure a fair and secure election. Fact-checking organizations played a vital role in debunking false claims and providing voters with accurate information. The stakes were high, and the world watched to see if American democracy could withstand these unprecedented challenges.
Section 8. The long night begins. Election night watch parties and the anticipation of results. As polls began to close across the country, the nation braced for a long night of vote counting and nail-biting anticipation. Election night watch parties, a staple of American politics, took on a different tone in 2024. The usual excitement and camaraderie were tempered by a sense of anxiety and uncertainty. The first results trickled in from states in the Eastern and Central time zones, offering tantalizing clues but no definitive answers. Cable news networks, their studios transformed into high-tech command centers, provided wall-to-wall coverage, analyzing every data point and projecting potential outcomes. The nation held its breath, waiting for a sign, any sign, of who would be the next president of the United States. Section 9. A nation divided, awaiting its fate. As midnight approached, the outcome of the 2024 presidential election remained unclear. Key battleground states, including Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, were still too close to call. Both the Trump and Harris campaigns projected confidence, but the reality was that the race was on a knife's edge. The nation, already deeply divided along political lines, seemed to hold its breath, bracing for what promised to be a long and contentious vote count. The specter of legal challenges and potential unrest loomed, casting a shadow over the democratic process. The world watched, wondering if America, the world's oldest democracy, could navigate this perilous moment and emerge stronger on the other side.